Okay, this is a PAC, right? New York Uprising is a PAC, a political action committee, which means you can use the money that you raise. You've, I believe, kicked in some of your own money, $10,000.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to use this thing towards political ends, will you go after Malcolm Smith? Will you go after Shelley Silver, who I don't believe is going to sign it?
Let me just say this. If people don't sign the pledges, we will make it known, and if their insurgent running against them does sign, we will make that known too. At the moment, we're only raising money to have the 3 staff people be able to get me around the state and to make the appointments and so forth. Right. But if we get more money than that, then we will use television advertising. And then if we get even more money than that, which is possible, then we will help individual candidates.
Okay, but because, you know, the speaker had said some things actually to me that I had written about he was not thrilled. And he actually raised some questions about you, and other critics have said, along these lines, other critics have said that you're late to this game, that you have been an executive, or you were an executive, and you had the opportunity to weigh in on redistricting at the city council level and did not, and all of a sudden you are, you know, Mr. Independence.
Well, let me give you the answer to that. It's very simple. You know, I've been involved in hundreds of campaigns as a leader. You know, I go back 50 years, back to when I defeated Carmine DeSapio and went on to the city council, went on to Congress, went on to being mayor. So I've had my share of leadership. And I was a supporter, not a leader, in this fight, which comes up every 10 years. And this year, the reason I got into it was not that I wanted to, but as I went to every breakfast, lunch, and dinner, everybody said, what's wrong with that legislature? We've got to do something about that legislature. And I was waiting for somebody to stand up and say, follow me. Nobody did. So I said to myself, I'm 85 years old. This is going to be my last hurrah. I'm going to do it. And when I stood up and said that, people said, let's do it.
Okay. Wait, I want to ask you a question actually before, and I think that tomorrow is Reform Day. There's a big Reform Day coming up, so your visit here is very timely. Also, the Manhattan DA is coming up, Cyrus Vance. I think he also is going to be introducing some legislation regarding reform. We're just hearing, there are new reform groups. We've had people on. I mean, is this going to be just yelling into the void, as so many people have been doing for so long? You've been at this for a long time, this reform message. Is it going to work, or is it just, why do we need all this new stuff?
Well, I think that people are capitalizing on the public's interest in this. I mean, the public started to pay attention in a way that they never had before when the Senate shut down for over a month and brought the state to a standstill. People saw their lives affected. And so I think that has stayed with them. And I think that people are saying that if we don't do it now, we'll never be able to reform Albany. People see this as an historic opportunity, which is why they're all coming together. The mayor, Cy Vance, Reform New York Tomorrow, it's all coming together.
There's also one, there's been a suggestion, and actually by Kevin Parker, who I'm sure you're all aware of, his last week rather had a bit of an outburst. And he said some inflammatory things, as is his wont, but he suggested to me that he believes Mayor Bloomberg is behind all of this. Mayor Bloomberg is somehow connected. Now, Mayor Bloomberg, there are people who are connected to Mayor Bloomberg who are assisting you, his former campaign manager, for example. There's a staffer who's working for you now, for New York Uprising, rather. How much is Mayor Bloomberg, who has a conflicted relationship with Albany, for example, involved in this?
Let me say this. I invited a lot of people to come to the organizational meeting, and I invited Mayor Bloomberg, and he declined. And I understood that. He has to work with the Albany legislature. The city of New York expects to get a huge sum of money, as they do every year, and he doesn't want to alienate those people. So he is not part of our operation. But people like former Governor Mario Cuomo and John Zuccotti and Ned Regan and Laird Townsend, there are 9 people who we call our trustees, who are known throughout the state said, we want to be a part of it. And I'm very happy with the way it's proceeded.
Do you believe that the fact that Mario Cuomo's involved improves the chances of Andrew Cuomo, assuming he becomes governor, sticking to this pledge? Because you've said in the past, the pledge, the best thing that you have, or the strongest weapon that you have, is shame. There's no way that you're going to get these people. You can't force them to stick to a pledge.
Let me just make this point. Firstly, it was difficult to get Mario Cuomo because he didn't want to get involved. His son is running, ultimately will be running for governor. I persuaded Mario Cuomo to come on board because he was so important, and I'm very grateful to him. Now, with respect to the gubernatorial pledges that they will veto legislation that doesn't have an independent commission, how do we enforce that? Well, if they don't do it, the only thing that we can do is to yell at them, liar, liar, pants on fire. And believe me, I'll do it.
That's an ad right there. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Mayor Koch pointing at the TV. Do you want to get the last word on this one,
Sure.
Dick?
I mean, the Attorney General, when he ran for Attorney General, supported this idea. So he's not new to this.